What's going on? Hi, Imran. Hi, Ahmed. I hope you're well. What's going on, guys? What's going on? How's it going? How's everyone doing? Yo, how's it going, Robert? You well? How's everyone? How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? So, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Hello, Bobby. Facebook user. Why doesn't it say the name? Good. Yeah, so we've got LoganPaul Mayweather. Let's talk about some of Spence's comments. Yeah, all good, Robert. It's all good. It's all good. All good. Guys, what did you make of Spence's comments? Let's break down. Let's do a three-part video, a three-part discussion. Hi, Robert. Let's do a three-part discussion. So Spence said that after he collects the WBA belt, he wants to fight Terence Bud Crawford. What do you guys make of that? Pigeon MR, I hope you're well. What do you make of those comments? Spence saying that he wants to fight Terence Bud Crawford straight after he collects the third belt, the WBA belt. What time the fight starts? I don't know. I think it's 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. I'm not gonna be. I might be doing a live stream, a watch along. Let's see. Let's see. I said I was gonna do a live stream before talking about it, and then maybe I'll do one watch along. Not watch along. So let's see. It's an 8-round one, so it'll be quick anyway. Badu Jack. I was looking forward to Badu Jack v Pascal on the undercard, but unfortunately that's been cancelled now, so that's not happening. Had to happen. What are your Likestra says, what are your expectations? What are my expectations of what? Of the Floyd? I think Bud will be too old and get stopped. Depends if Manny can beat Spence. You never know. Yeah. You think Terence will get too old and he'll get stopped? Possibly. He's not getting any younger, is he, Crawford? He's getting older by the day. Guys, everyone in the live stream, if you can smash the like button, I'd appreciate it. Everyone in the live stream, if you can smash that like button. Bilal, Yunus, yes, I hope you're well, Bilal. Yeah, the Floyd v Logan fight, yeah. To be honest, I ain't got no expectations. I expect Floyd to go in there and do what he did with the the last fight he had with the Japanese kickboxer, was it? I expect him to do something of the same. I think Floyd, I don't know, actually. With this one, Floyd might prolong it. I'll tell you why, because there's a lot more eyes on it. I think with the Japanese kickboxer, I just think Floyd wanted to get in there, get the job done, and that's it. I think with this one, it will be more like he'll prolong it, I think, because of all the eyes and stuff on it. Whereas that one was kind of like low-key, wasn't it? The kickboxer with Tenzin, it was kind of a low-key event, and I don't think he really cared. He just wanted to go in and get the job done. I think here, I think because of the eyes on it and the fact that it's on, mainstream platforms, I think he's going to be a lot more. I think he's going to drag it along, make it give the fans a bit of a fight, because it'll be a bit of an anti-climax if he goes in there and knocks him out in a round. But then I don't know what Mayweather's mindset is. Pigeon MR says Bud v Spence will go down like Danny Garcia v Eric Morales too. Bud will get stopped, in my opinion. Wow. I don't know, man. That's the fight that I'd love to see. It's a great fight, man. What do you think of Vidal Riley dropping his association with Mayweather Productions? And do you think he is the star they made him out to be? Little off topic, interested on people's thoughts. Vidal Riley, he's actually a proper boxer. He's not really a YouTube. Like, I know he's a YouTuber as well, and he's got a big following and stuff. He's been around KSI and all those guys, but he's actually a proper boxer. He's actually a proper cruiserweight boxer. But again, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know where his career is going. Let me check his box rec, actually, Vidal Riley. So Vidal Riley is His box rec is 4-0. He's got 2 knockouts. Yeah, so he's had 4 fights. His last fought in 2020. In February, he fought in February in 2020. So, he's not been very active. He's been out of the ring for quite a while, over a year. So I don't know. How old is Vidal Riley? He's 23, so he has got time on his side. He's a young lad. But again, he needs to get a move on, Robert. So yeah, I think Vidal needs to get Salute, Brendan. I hope you're well. I hope everything's good. I think everybody wants to see Spence v Bud, but I don't know if you can just completely disregard Pacquiao, whether or not can stop Bud. I remember Mean Machine putting, of course you can't. I'm not. I think everybody wants to see. Crawford v Spence, but I think Pacquiao is definitely got a chance in this fight of pulling off an upset. I won't be surprised if Pacquiao pulls off upset, but the favorite is Spence, and I think people do expect Spence to beat Pacquiao. A lot of people expect Spence to stop Pacquiao as well, which it'll be sad to see Pacquiao go out that way, I wouldn't want to see Pacquiao stop because I think Pacquiao's been knocked out 3 times, right? If he gets knocked, I think someone was saying if he gets knocked out by Spence, that'll be the 4th time he's been knocked out. I won't want to see Pacquiao get knocked out, man. If he does lose, I hope he loses on points. Wouldn't like to see a legend go out like that, and he'd be getting knocked out because of his age. And I wouldn't like to see Pacquiao get knocked out, man. I want to see, to be honest, I would love to see Pacquiao pull it off. But it's going to be hard. I rewatched Spence v Porter a few hours ago, watched Pacquiao v Thurman again last week, and I just say Spence is just too strong. You're possibly right, Brendan. He may be too strong. Porter, I will never write Manny off. Too many times I wrote off Filipino fighters, even back to 2000s when I thought Vic Darachian was going to KO Nonito Donaire and he got starched. Nonito Donaire, what a guy, what a fighter. 9-time world champion. Great fighter, Donaire is. What a fighter Nonito Donaire is, man. What a fighter. Nonito Donaire is a legend. A legend. If there wasn't no Manny Pacquiao, he'd be a lot bigger than what he was or what he is if there was no Manny. I think because of Manny, I think Nonito Donaire hasn't got the credit he deserves because Manny's such a legend and probably one of the greatest. Hi, Imran. Are you going live for Mayweather, mate? Yeah, possibly. I think I will be. I wanted to do a live before the fight, and then I think I will be doing a live commentary watch along, most likely. Richard, are you going to be watching Mayweather's fight? I thought someone like yourself is a boxing purist and wouldn't want to watch something like this. I'm surprised that are you going to be up watching it? Pac did just post a new training video, and I will say that his combinations still look pretty damn fast. Yeah, Pacquiao started training. He started training camp. I want to see Donaire v Inoue too after Donaire's recent KO win. What Donaire v Inoue too? You know what? If I was Inoue, I don't need that right now. That Donaire's a problem. Donaire is a problem. I think Inoue should look to fight Casemiro. And listen, the fight that I would like to see? Donaire v Casemiro. What a fight. Donaire v Casemiro. That I would love to see that. Donaire v Casemiro. Donaire doesn't get the credit he deserves, in my opinion. He's an all-time great. Yeah, he is an all-time great. He's an all-time great, man. What a fighter. Yes, Naima, I hope you're well. You know what, guys? I always go about Khan in my videos. And then when I think about someone like Donaire, right? And I think Donaire's like literally like he's an all-time great when you think about it, right? I think when I mentioned about Khan because I like Amir Khan, he's from my background. But when I think about someone like Donaire, right? Donaire's actually an all-time great. Like Donaire's legit an all-time great. And I think someone like Khan doesn't get the credit. And when I think Donaire's achieved way more than Khan, And he definitely doesn't get the credit he deserves. He definitely doesn't get the credit he deserves. So, yeah, and I think Donaire, for me, if there wasn't a Pacquiao, I think he'd be celebrated a lot more. But Pacquiao is such a legend and such a great fighter that, unfortunately, Donaire's achievements go a bit under the radar a little. Of course, Donaire v Inoue too, after Inoue beats the winner of Casemiro Rigo. What do you think? Do you think Casemiro? How do you see that Casemiro Rigo fight going, Brendan? I think that's a good fight. Didn't Inoue get eye fractures in that fight? Yeah, he did. He did. He had several. Orbital bone fractures. You could even argue Donaire is right up there with Manny for achievements. Nah, I wouldn't go that far. I think he's a legend, Donaire, but not as Manny's on another level. Manny's, for me, I think there's a difference. Like Donaire, you could say is an all-time great, but Manny for me is one of the greatest fighters of all time. So I wouldn't put Donaire in that kind of category, to be honest. I think Spence stops Pacquiao. How do you see that one playing out then? Do you think it's a one-punch knockout, or do you think he's wearing him down? Neymar, how do you think he stops him? Is it more of a wearing down job, or? Yes, Inoue got his orbital smashed in the second round with a counter left hook. I just watched Inoue v Donaire yesterday morning. Actually, classic fight. Yeah, it was a great fight. It was one of the best fights that I've seen. Bigger, stronger, younger, in prime, pound for pound, top 5. You got a good point there. Richard Brown says, not got Sky, mate, so can't watch it. But yeah, can't miss a Mayweather fight, even if it's against a YouTuber. Yeah, you can't miss a Mayweather fight. You know, there's a lot of these people that are saying, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to watch it. It's a disgrace. It's this, it's that. At the end of the day, it's entertainment. If you can watch WWE, right? And people, there's obviously WWE and WWF back in the day. They used to have a big audience. Yeah, a lot of people knew it was fake. Yeah, it still had a huge audience, right? It's entertainment at the end of the day. I don't know what people's problem is. It's entertainment. It absolutely baffled me whenever I would hear people downplay Inoue for getting banged up by Donaire when Donaire on that night had a career best performance. Not just that, look how bigger Donaire is compared to Inoue. Inoue is a small guy. Donaire is like 2 times bigger than everybody that he's fighting right now. Did you see the size difference between Donaire and Obali? Donaire and Inoue, did you see the size difference? Donaire is massive compared to all of these guys. You know, so these guys are going in undersized against Donaire. Wow, Jet says Casemiro by KO. He's going Casemiro by KO. That's a good fight, man. It's a good fight. I can't wait. It's a good fight. That's a brilliant fight. Casemiro v Rigondeaux. So what do you think of Dubois last night? Dubois, he did what he had to do against Bogdan. Dino knocked him out, hit him with the right hand. But again, we need to see him. We need to see how he develops. I think he needs to keep developing, build his confidence, and then maybe have a more stern test. I think Dubois, that Joyce defeat was a bit damaging for him. I think psychologically and all of that, I think he needs to ease back into it. Do you know what I mean? I think not. I don't think they need to rush him. I think the Joyce fight came a bit too soon for him. I think they need to build him up slowly. Guys, everyone in the live stream, if you can smash the like button, I'd appreciate if everyone in the live stream can smash the like button. I'd appreciate it, guys. Smash that like button. Let's get those likes up. Yeah, I think they need to build Dubois up slowly. I don't think they need to rush him, man. He's still a young kid. He's still a young kid, and he's still got plenty of time. Build him up slowly. No need to rush. I think Spence will take the fight to points. Yeah, I think it's a point. I think if Pacquiao gets stopped, it'll be more late on due to fatigueness and tiredness. I don't think he's going to stop Pacquiao. I think Pacquiao's got a very good chin. If Manny KOs Spence, I think I will faint. It will be the greatest thing I have ever seen in boxing, and I'm late 40s. Wow. Yeah, it definitely would be a big achievement if he was to KO Spence. I can't see it. I think he would. I think if he beats what's his name, Spence, it'd be on points. I can't see him KOing Spence, but then who knows, man? Who knows? It'd be great. It'd be great to see. It'd be great to see a Manny Pacquiao pulling off a shock win, but it's going to be hard. Let's be honest. It's going to be hard to beat Errol Spence. Errol Spence is the dude right now. He's the dude right now. But you can never write off Pacquiao. It's one of them ones. I've said it so many times. You can't ever write off Pacquiao, can you? Paul says, what do you think Mayweather a little bit kissing Logan Paul? A lot of people were saying that about the face-off. It is what it is. It is what it is. You know, they came close together. But I don't know. I don't know. It's a bit weird. That face-off was a bit weird. I feel like Mayweather isn't worried about this fight. Like, he's not really worried at all. He's taking it easy. You know, when I seen him fight McGregor, I saw him fight that, and now this one, I feel like Mayweather already knows he's gonna win, and a win, even though it's an exhibition. The McGregor fight was an actual fight, but I just feel like Mayweather just feels like he's got this. You know, he's not too worried. Brendan Jackson says, going on by what they've done for us recently in the ring, I have Casemiro knocking Rigo out. Rigo's legs have been on the decline, and he'll leave himself to get hit too much for Casemiro to not. Okay, so Casemiro is very ferocious. Rigo's obviously defensive, very good. Also, we don't know how old. Rigo is. Rigo may be a lot older than what they say he is. So we just don't know. Naima says, Wilder shouldn't be underestimated, even though Fury is a big favorite. One punch it takes and it can end the fight. Yeah, of course. Wilder's got huge punching power. Huge punching power. Wilder could wipe out Fury with one punch. With that right hand, if that lands, ooh, someone like that should never be underestimated, because, like I said, he's got devastating power. Wilder's got scary power. Continue, not catch Rigo with something sudden and vicious. I think Rigo is very dangerous as well. You know, let's not forget Rigo beat Danair in his prime. Yeah, that's a good fight, man. That's a good fight. It just depends on what Rigo shows up. Bobby says, I think Spence v. Pac-Man will use all 12 rounds and all 36 minutes, most likely. I can see it going the distance. Saving my money for Pac Spence. Floyd Paul has an obvious conclusion. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Are you watching the Mayweather fight? Yes, I will be watching the Mayweather fight. Matthew Hatton and Amir Khan, only two dudes who put it on from Canelo from the UK. Who would have thought that at the time when Khan was KO'd cold on the canvas? But it is right. Yeah. Yeah, I think Matthew Hatton kind of took a lot of beating in that fight. I think Khan was the one that was he was winning. Danair Inoue 2 needs to happen. Danair Inoue 2 needs to happen, of course. What a fight that would be. That first fight was like one of the best fights I've seen. Unbelievable fight. Unbelievable fight. And yes, the size discrepancy in Danair Inoue is another reason why the victory and the skills he applied in the ring that night makes Inoue a future Hall of Famer. Absolutely. Because look at it, Obali, who was a very good fighter, Nadine Obali was a very good fighter, and unfortunately he couldn't, he wasn't able to overcome the size difference. And that just shows how great Inoue is. I'm watching the Floyd fight. Lol, want to see him stop that fool. Actually, both of them loudmouths. Jake Paul's fighting Tyron Woodley, guys. What do you guys make of that? Pigeon MR says, had Khan 5-1 up in the Canelo fight, but you could tell Canelo punches were hard. Had Billy running. Yeah, man, I agree. Although, like, Khan was up in that fight, I felt like it was inevitable because I think Canelo was too strong in the end. Brendan Jackson says, Dubois used his jab greatly to set up his shots, leading up to his knockout, as if he took notes from Joyce, who smashed his eye with his own jab. Yeah. Yeah, that was. I think hopefully Dubois can come back, man. I like Dubois, and I think he took a lot of unnecessary criticism in that fight against Joe Joyce. I think he'll come back. I think he'll come back, and hopefully he can get back to the top. Weird to think Donaire was a flyweight up to 26 years old with his size. He's massive. Huge guy. I think Brook is going to fight Eubank. Possibly. I personally think, I don't know. I think you might be right. I think there's a big announcement coming. I think Eubank might be too big for Brook though. Do you think Mike Tyson and Roy Jones had a better physique in their primes than Timothy Bradley? I don't know, I think Mike Tyson had a good physique. I think Bradley had an unbelievable physique. I think Bradley's physique was too good. Bradley was a proper bodybuilder physique, ripped to the bone. Eubank will destroy Brook. Yeah, I agree. Box Pell says, Patman will win against Spence. That fight night will bring fear in Spence. I wouldn't be shocked. Patman can do it. Pacquiao can beat Errol Spence, no doubt about it. In my mind, I think he can pull it off. He can pull off the shock, but it's not going to be easy. It's gonna be a tough fight. And I think your money has to be with Spence. Your money has to be on Spence, but a Pacquiao upset is always possible. Guys, everyone in the live stream, can you smash the like button? I'd appreciate if everyone in the live stream can smash the like button, guys. Smash the like button. Let's get more people in this live stream. Smash the like button, guys. So I hope Kell Brook and Eubank don't fight. Yeah, that's not a good fight for Kell Brook at this stage in his career. But I won't be surprised if it does happen because money talks, and that's a big money fight, isn't it? It's a big money fight. So it wouldn't shock me in the slightest for that fight to happen, to be honest with you. It won't shock me in the slightest. So Adam M says, Brook taking the GG fight was the biggest mistake of his career. 100%. 100%. Brook ruined his career that night because he ended up getting his eye socket smashed in, and Brook was never the same after that. So yeah, you're 100% right. That was a big mistake. A big mistake that really put his career back massively. I don't think he was the same man after that. I don't believe he was the same man. Not at all. I think that did definitely ruined his career. For Mayweather, this is just a mega event. He's organized rather than a fight. Yeah, it's just an event. I'd agree with that. It's just an event. Manny v. Horn, robbery. Manny v. Bradley, robbery. Manny v. Floyd was a draw, 6-6. Cheated. Manny gets some nasty decisions from such star. It's bad. Wow. Some strong opinions there. I'm excited to see Wilder potentially change up his game. His training videos are interesting. Wilder needs to change up his game. Wilder needs to set up that right hand. He can't go in wildly against someone like Tyson Fury. He has to be more calculated. He has to set up that big right hand. Otherwise, he's not going to beat Tyson Fury. He needs to set up the punches better. He needs to be more calculated. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to beat Tyson Fury. No chance. Where is Zolani Tete? Your guess is as good as mine, Richard. Where is Zolani Tete? After being beaten by Casemiro, Zolani Tete has just disappeared. That was a bizarre defeat as well against Casemiro. That was bizarre. Pigeon MR says, Rigo after tax only got 160K for Loma fight. Wow, I wasn't aware of that. That's very, very poor amount of money. He should be getting paid a lot more than that. If Pac doesn't concentrate on his boxing and still goes in on his political career, he might lose to Spence. I think he's too deep into his politics now. I don't think he's going to stop that. He's too deep into it. I think now he's a part-time boxer and a politician. So I think that's obviously going to be his future. You know, after boxing, that's what he's going to be doing full time. I put Daenerys and Uwe up there with AJ Klitschko. They are classics. I can watch again and again. Yeah, they were classics, to be fair. Both of them great fights. Sticky fighters. I think Imran can Manny. So is that Manny can knock out Spence? Yeah. Anyone can knock out anyone, but I don't see it being a knockout for either guy. Khan training for Canelo fight was not good. He needed to concentrate on power more. Yeah, I don't think he had the power to hurt Canelo. You know, big middleweights can't hurt Canelo. Golovkin couldn't hurt Canelo. I'm going with Woodley over Paul. I'm confident in his time to prepare enough. Me favor his puncher's chance. I'm going with Jake Paul. I don't know about these YouTube. I don't know about these. I mean, these MMA guys, man. They're not boxers. I'm going with Paul in that one. Dubois has a massive potential and see him as be a problem for all heavyweights in a couple of years' time. Yeah, I agree. I think in a couple of years' time he could be a problem. But as of right now, we've just got to wait and see how he develops. Brook on some death wish after GGG. Does he want permanent damage? Yeah, I think Eubank is too dangerous for him at this stage. Oh, come on, Ryan. What steroids is Pacquiao using for this fight? Come on. Let's let that go. Eubank would put it on Canelo 100%. I'd defo watch. That'd be interesting. Nah, Canelo's too good, man. Canelo would batter him. Canelo would batter him. Brook from the GG fight would beat Eubank at 160. Now he's shot and will get stopped. Yeah, most likely. Most likely, Jet. You're right. I think the Brook that fought Golovkin, right? I think I would favor against Eubank as well. But now I think as soon as Eubank hits him, you know, from what we saw against Crawford, you know, the first punch that landed with any kind of, you know, first meaningful punch that landed, Brook fell apart, you know. So yeah, that's not a good fight for Brook right now. I think Brook needs to stay away. I think Brook needs to fight Amir Khan and that's it, and then retire. Wilder already accusing AJ of ducking, lol, in his recent interview. Wilder needs to concentrate on his training, get prepared for Tyson Fury, and not worry about anything else because Wilder's got a big fight ahead of him. But I do think Eubank could have the one-punch power to keep Canelo off of him, and I see Canelo stopping Eubank late. I don't think he has got power, Eubank. Wilder doesn't have the skill set to set up that right hand. Well, then he can't win. He can't win, unfortunately, if that's the case. Do you think if Manny beats Spence, will Manny and Floyd fight again? If Manny beats Spence, I think it overshadows Floyd. Yeah, it does. I don't see the fight happening again. But yeah, I do think he overshadows. I do think his legacy surpasses Floyd. And I don't think Floyd. Why would Floyd Mayweather want to come back and fight Manny Pacquiao if he just beats Spence? That would be too dangerous for him. If AJ don't fight Usyk, it's a duck to me. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely would be. Especially this is a dangerous mandatory challenger. So a lot of people want to see him fight. A lot of people want to see AJ fight Usyk. And if he doesn't fight him, I think he's going to come under a lot of criticism, of course. Paul has yet to be in there with someone that's an actual dangerous striker, not once. Yeah, you're probably right. But again, Logan Paul, what's his name? Tyron Woodley, he's an MMA fighter, man. The technique when it comes to boxing ain't great. I think Jake Paul's obviously been working on his boxing skills, and he looks like he carries a bit of power. He's a big dude as well. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think he knocks out Tyron Woodley, but who knows? Who knows? You might be right. You might be right. Guys, smash the like button, guys. Everyone in the live stream, smash the like button. I'd appreciate it. Smash that like button, guys. Everybody in the live stream, if you can smash that like button. The more likes, the more people in the stream, the more exciting the stream. The steroid argument is a bit, boxing is a bit silly. Mike Tyson said in the 1980s, 90% were on them. It's a non-argument and best not mentioned. Yeah. Yeah, keeping it real there. What's with all these polls? Logan and Jake, who the hell next? It's getting silly. Yeah. Yeah, but when one of the greatest fighters of all time is fighting a YouTuber, then, you know, what's your take on Ellaby saying even if Manny beats Spence, Manny won't surpass Floyd? Floyd beat already done smashing. Like button. Listen, man, obviously Ellaby, man. Ellaby, you know what? Ellaby, you got to give credit to him. He's done well with Floyd's career and stayed it. They made him, you know, a massive superstar. You know, he's made a lot of money. But you know what I find funny about Ellaby? I feel like when Leonard Ellaby gives in his opinion, it makes it sound like everybody else is wrong and he's right. That's his opinion. You know, that's his opinion. But he makes it sound like you know nothing and your opinion don't count. And what he's saying is 100% correct. Like he said, Jose Ramirez would beat Josh Taylor, and he was wrong, right? He's saying Wilder's going to knock out Fury. There's no doubt. There's no 100% that he's going to be right. But I feel like he makes it out like his opinion is right and everybody else is wrong. I find it really funny. Who would you pick? Brook v. Horn at 154 right now? I don't know. That's a good fight. That's a good fight, man. You know, Horn, he's quite a rough, tugged guy. I think you'd have to say Brook. But again, Brook does look at this point completely shot. So I don't know. That's a good fight, man. I think that would be a good fight. That'd be a very good fight, actually. That'd be quite a competitive matchup. I'd like to see that. I would like to see Brook v. Horn without question. Without question, I would like to see Brook v. Horn. That's a good fight. I think that's a good fight, to be honest. Yeah, I think they should. I think they should do that fight. I think it's a good fight, without a question. I'd like to see that. I would like to see that fight. I think it makes sense as well for both guys. At this point, I'd probably say, I think you might have to even go with Horn, just because of how badly shot Brook looked against Crawford. I think Horn's still dangerous in the sense that, you know, Horn, he can take punishment and he comes forward and he's got a horrible style. There's TikTok boxers coming up too. I wouldn't be surprised if TV networks approach them soon. Yeah, who knows? Adam M says they are YouTube stars who have ridiculous following, so Floyd taking advantage of it. Yeah, you can't blame him. Not heard. Oh, this is a good one. Not heard anything on Josh Kelly since his loss. Hopefully he comes back ASAP. Yeah, what's going on with Josh Kelly? I see a lot of boxers, they lose a fight and they just completely disappear. You know, losing is part of the sport, man. Losing is part of the sport. Part of sport, losing is. I don't know why fighters, they lose a fight and then they just disappear. What's that all about, man? What's that all about? You know, I feel like losing is part of the sport. You shouldn't just disappear, man. You shouldn't just disappear completely. In the Wellborn fight, Hurd rehydrated to 172 pounds from 152. Hurd is a big dude. Jarrett Hurd is massive. He is massive, Jarrett Hurd. A big guy. Big, strong guy. You know, I don't know how he got beat by Julian Williams. I think he just got outboxed and battered. But I really rated Hurd at one point, but he's gone kind of missing. I think he's fighting on the undercard of Mayweather Paul. So let's see how that plays out. But yeah, I want to see how Jarrett Hurd looks tonight. From now on, boxing will turn into a joke with YouTubers, Instagram, and TikTokers using their fame to just box and make money. Let's see. Who knows what happens from here on in. Him against Castano look funny with the size difference. What, you mean Jarrett Hurd v Castano? Castano's fighting Jamel. That's good, undisputed fight. Who you guys got in that one? Jamel v Castano. Who do you think wins that? That's a good fight. I like that fight. That's a good fight. Guys, everyone in the live stream, smash the like button, guys. Smash the like button, guys. I'd appreciate it. Everyone in the live stream, if you can smash the like button. Yeah, that's a good fight, man. That's a good fight. Castano v. Jamel. Who you guys got in that? Who you guys got? Jamel v. Castano. Who have you guys got in that fight? I like that fight. I do like that fight. I'm not going to lie. I do like that fight between Castano and Jamel Charlo. So Brian Castano v. Jamel. That's a good fight. It's a good fight that Hurd should KO Arias pretty easily because Keeler dropped him twice. Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree, Jet. I think Hurd's too big, man. Hurd's a big guy. Hurd's a big, strong guy. But he against Julian Williams, J-Rock, he looked terrible, man. He looked terrible against J-Rock. Terrible. I don't know why he looked so bad. I don't know why he looked so bad. So Pigeon MR says, Jamel unanimous decision. I think Jamel could stop him as well. Jamel's got explosive power. But yeah, probably the safe bet to say unanimous decision. You know, Jamel is I like the Charlos. I think both Charlos are very good fighters. If it wasn't for Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson, boxing would never have been as big as it is now. Mayweather took the Ali blueprint in promoting fights, but Ali will always be the king in promotion. Yeah, I'd agree. Ali was the man when it came to promotion. He was the man. Ali was the man. Ali was the man. He was the man. He was the man, without question. Keep getting your questions in, guys. Keep getting your questions in. Just keep answering these questions. So, Jamel, what do you guys make of? So let's talk a bit about Spence's comments that he made. Spence said he's confident in knocking Manny Pacquiao out. He feels he's a lot better now than he was when he fought Danny Garcia. What do you guys think? Do you think Spence is a lot better now than what he was when he fought Danny Garcia? Do you think he's more dangerous now? Who would you like to see Mayweather fight in a boxing exhibition after this one? I'd like to see Mayweather fight. I don't know. Maybe we'll get Mayweather v. Brad Pitt soon. Who knows? Mayweather v. Brad Pitt. Who you guys got? You give Brad Pitt a puncher's chance in that. Taro Haffa says, they call Spence the body snatcher, but I think Pacquiao will be hitting Spence's body more. I also think Pacquiao's foot speed angles will be too much for Spence. Spence can't pivot fast enough. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. But it's going to be difficult at his age. Adam M says, 80s, 90s, Tyson 2000, Maypac 2010, Maypac 2020s, Pauls. Yeah. Yeah, Pauls look like they're taking over. They're taking over. They're taking over. Do you watch old fights like 80s, 90s? And I do, but obviously I prefer the, you know, they were before my time, so you have to go back in the archives. You obviously watch the ones that were the legendary fights, you know, but you have to go back in the archives, don't you? You have to go back in the archives. Okay, so there's a lot of questions coming in. So you've seen Thurman's take on Pac. You've seen Thurman's take on Pac's career v. Mayweather's career. Pacquiao took the Ali route, be legendary. Yeah, Pacquiao did it. Pacquiao's, he's old school, man. He's old school. He's not from the Mayweather, like the Mayweather kind of mold. Like, he's more old school, man. He's more of an old school guy. He just wants to be the best, man. He wants to be the best. You gotta give him a lot of credit for his career. Yeah, you gotta give him credit, man. You gotta give him credit. He's had an unbelievable career. Unbelievable career Pacquiao has. Let me just sort this out. Unbelievable the way he's. I think you just got to credit. I think you just got to credit the guy. What a career it's been. What a career it's been. Control, save image. I think I'm looking forward to see how Paul does against Mayweather. Can he actually hold his own, or is he gonna get battered? Mayweather v Chris Brown. Mayweather v Chris Brown. Nah, I'm not sure. Can Chris Brown fight? I don't know. I think the worst, most boring Muhammad Ali fight is better than the Floyd best fight. Now, Floyd's been in some decent fights, I thought the Maidana fight was quite entertaining. I thought the what's his name fight was quite entertaining. Miguel Cotto fight, I thought that was fairly entertaining. I think he's been involved in some decent fights, man. Richard Brown says Brad Pitt on points. So I want to give a shout out to JD. Thanks for the super chat, brother. I appreciate it. Jet says Pacquiao will counter his jab consistently. What, Spence's jab? Spence, man, he's got the height and reach. That might be a problem for Pacquiao. The height and reach. Let's see if he can overcome that. It's not going to be easy to overcome the height and reach. It's going to be a problem. Dean Murphy says, will you do a chat like this through the Olympics to watch the youth coming through? Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, yeah, I will. Especially if it's the British fighters coming through. Yeah, most 100%. Ahmed says, are you married, Imran? No, I'm not married. Mayweather v Pacquiao. Son Jimmy, December 2022. What? What are you talking about there, Ahmed? JD says Ahmed's got a crush on Imran. Pacquiao is a legend, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Look at his career. His career is second to none. His career is second to none. For me, without doubt, Pacquiao's... I personally think if he beats Spence, top 3 greatest fighters of all time, without question, man. You got to give it him. You got to give it him. Pacquiao will win, no problem. Too much experience. It wouldn't shock me. Thanks, JD, for the super chat. Keep up the good work, man. Pac is the GOAT. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. He is. Pac, if he beats Spence, I think he has a legitimate argument to be the GOAT. Guys, honestly, all of you in the live stream right now, right? If Pacquiao beats Spence, where do you rank him of all time? Where does Pacquiao rank? If he beats Errol Spence, where does he rank? Honestly, truthfully, even if you're a Pacquiao fan, where would you rank him? Like, being harsh, like, where would you rank him? Like, not take your Pacquiao hat off. Where do you rank him? So, and then Enster says Jamel is a clout chaser. He doesn't go after the top dogs at 160. Calls out Canelo when he knows Canelo is looking at Plant. He knows the coast is clear. Jamel is a clout chaser. He doesn't go after the top dogs at 160. Calls out Canelo when he knows Canelo is looking at Plant. He knows the coast is clear. Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, Canelo, for me, resume is on another level. I don't want to hear anyone question Canelo's resume. Canelo, for me, is one of my favorite fighters today. His resume is unbelievable. He fights the best time and time again, and he will fight the Charlos. I think he'll fight either. I think one of Charlo or Andrade will get a fight with him. I don't want to hear no excuses when he beats them. Simple as that. CK says only Americans think Spence will KO Pac because they still can't accept Pac is a Filipino. I think he is capable of KOing Pac just because Pac's old, but I don't see him KOing Pac. And I don't think, of course, a lot of Americans are gonna get behind their own. But to be honest with you, CK, you know how many people want Pacquiao to win this fight that are not from America? Pacquiao has most of the people supporting him, not Spence. Pacquiao has got most of the support, not Spence. So I think a lot of Filipinos have a misconception that everyone's against Manny Pacquiao because he's a Filipino. That's not true. Manny Pacquiao has more people that love him than hate him. Trust me. I know this. I live in the UK, and Manny Pacquiao is liked a lot more than Floyd Mayweather in this country and many other countries, by the way. Manny Pacquiao is a legend. And I don't think anyone argues with that. So yeah, I think Manny Pacquiao is without doubt one of the greatest of all time. I don't think anyone really questions that. But I think a lot of Filipinos feel a bit frustrated because they feel that Pacquiao should be rated even highly than what he is. And to be honest with you, a lot of people are like that. A lot of people are like that when it comes to their own. They feel that their own don't get the credit that they deserve, right? And that's why they get a little frustrated because they feel like he should be respected even more than what he is. But that's your patriotism, what you call it, patriotism coming out because you want to see him respected even more because you see him as one of your own. Like I said, I'm like that as well. JD says, you're welcome, bro. I support your channel. Keep growing. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. CK says, Spence ain't no Mayweather. He ain't got the skills. Jab, Pac all night. Yes, Spence ain't no Mayweather. I mentioned that in my video. He hasn't got the skills of a Mayweather. Mayweather was something else. Mate, you couldn't hit Mayweather. You know, one thing about Mayweather, you couldn't land. Like Pacquiao's a combination puncher, but you can't land more than one punch on Mayweather. You know, if you look at a fight, Pacquiao landed that one left hand on Mayweather, but then when Mayweather tucked up on the ropes, right? Pacquiao let his hands go, but all of those punches were like hitting him on the gloves, and Mayweather tucked up. It's very difficult to catch Mayweather with more than one punch. He's just so elusive, man, so elusive, and that's why a lot of people found him boring because. Like especially when he got moved up to the higher weight class, he just neutralized guys. And that fight with Pacquiao, he just kind of did a lot of holding, a lot of ducking below the waist, and weaving away. He didn't let Pacquiao fight in that fight, and it was quite a negative. But I think the reason why Mayweather made that fight so negative is because he just wanted to win. I don't think he cared how he won. He just wanted to win. He just wanted to make it a boring, and Pacquiao wanted to fight. Pacquiao never really fought a guy like that really just was just like so cagey and so difficult to hit. And Pacquiao was getting really frustrated in that fight. But that's what Mayweather does. He's just defensively very difficult to get to him, My granddad watched Mayweather a few times, and my granddad said, man, he's not my granddad said he's not a fighter, man. He's a defensor, you know what I mean? He goes, this guy he doesn't fight, he's a defensor. And it's true, man. He is a defensor. He's just so hard to hit. So hard to hit. Mayweather's it's just difficult to hit him. Shout out to brother Imran. Yeah, shout out to you, Cesar. Appreciate it. It was funny. I remember my granddad watching the Mayweather fight, and he goes, "This guy, man, he doesn't fight, man. He just he goes, Pacquiao's a fighter. He goes, this guy's a defensor. You know what I mean? Mayweather he's a defensor, man. He's very good defensively, brilliant. But Mayweather was a fighter once upon a time when he was Pretty Boy Floyd. Mayweather used to fight. Mayweather used to let his hands go. It's only when Mayweather moved up into the higher weight classes, Mayweather became more defensive, and Mayweather became a lot more cagey. But that he had to, because he couldn't afford to go up and fight the way he used to fight, because the bigger guys would have knocked him out. Let's not forget Shane Mosley almost almost knocked Mayweather down and hurt him, but Mayweather managed to compose himself and get through it. But that was they were scary moments for Mayweather. Let's be honest. XXS says Pat gonna give a classic vintage performance and stop Spence and get his 40th KO. Wow. If he was to do that, it'd shock the world. Jesse Castro, I hope you're well, Jesse. XXX says this is going to the best performance of Pacquiao in the last 5 years. Another question, guys. If Pacquiao beats Errol Spence, is that the greatest performance of all? Is that the greatest win of all time? You know, Ali Foreman comes to mind. Pacquiao Spence at the age he's at and how highly Spence is rated. Is this an even greater win than Ali Foreman? Because at the time, a lot of people thought Ali would get hurt against Foreman, right? And Ali beat the odds and beat Foreman. Do you think this ranks up with that win, or it's even better? What do you guys think? Top 3 all time, even top 2, says CK. Who's your top 2 then? Who's your top 3? Give me your top 5 best fighters of all time. Adam M says Spence is overrated to me. He's a good fighter, but I believe he's slightly below Thurman level. Wow. I don't know. I think Spence beats Thurman. I think Spence would knock Thurman out. But you know, I'd love to see that fight. I've made videos about that, saying that I'd like to see that fight. But Spence seems a bit angry with Thurman because Thurman kind of ducked him when Thurman was a champion. Thurman didn't really want to know. I think Spence is angry now. And the new XXX says, and the new 3-belt unified champion at 42. If Pacquiao beats Spence, is he the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world? If Pacquiao beats Spence, is he the best pound-for-pound fighter on the world? Stephen K makes a good point. He goes, it depends on how the fight goes to rank it at all time. In what sense? What do you mean by that, Stephen? What do you mean, like, how the fight goes? And what I mean is, like, would you say that that would be the greatest win by any fighter at the age of 42 to beat someone like Errol Spence, who's in his prime, who's in most people's top 5 pound for pound? Would you not say that's by a 42-year-old who's undersized, who Spence has got all the physical advantages, right? Would you not say that would be one of the, like, I can't really think of a, can you think of a better win than that? I'm struggling to. I think Ali Foreman comes to mind. It's like I can't think of a better win. At 42 years of age, beating a pound for pound great like Spence. I don't know. I can't really think of a better win, really. 8 division world champion on top of a Spence win. Yeah, it definitely would be put him on a different level. Adam says number 1. I would rank it as one of the greatest accomplishments by a fighter. Steven says he would rank it as one of the greatest accomplishments. So this is what I'm trying to say. That this is how great, this is how highly people are ranking this. This is an unbelievable. If he was to pull this off, I don't, like I said, I don't see him doing it. And a lot of people get upset with me when I say that. I don't see Pacquiao winning. But if he was to pull it off, I just don't know where I would rank it. I don't know what I would say about Pac-Man, because he's achieved so much, 8 division world champion, and then beating Errol Spence. That's just like literally impossible. At 42, when you're so much smaller, he's got all the physical advantages. He's top 5 pound for pound. He's undefeated. He's unified champion. Like things like that just don't happen. It just doesn't happen. So, like I said, Pacquiao is really putting himself on another level. Facebook user said, the moment Manny signed the contract, he is already my number 1 greatest fighter of all time. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Like, putting yourself in a very vulnerable position. Pacquiao's putting himself in a position where Ali put himself against Foreman, where he could get hurt here. people are generally, you know what? I'm not saying that this is the same as Ali Foreman, because Ali was a heavyweight and Foreman at that time was a monster, and people generally worried for Pacquiao's health. But I think there's a lot of people that are actually worried for Pacquiao's health in this fight. They actually think he could get brutally knocked out. They honestly feel that he could get brutally knocked out. So this would rank for me up there with the Ali Foreman fight because of that. Because of the fact that people think that Pacquiao could brutally get knocked out and hurt in this fight. There's a lot of people that are worried for Manny Pacquiao's health in this fight. And for me, it was the same story when Ali took on Foreman, right? There was a lot of people that were worried for Ali's health because they thought Ali could get brutally knocked out. So let's hope that Pacquiao can shock. Look, for me, even if Pacquiao makes this fight close, that would be unbelievable. I think you'd have to say, what a performance. Just say, I want to ask another question. If Pacquiao was in his prime, so let's go back 10 years, right? If he was to, just say Jermell Charlo now becomes the undisputed 154-pound champion, could you see Pacquiao beating Jermell Charlo at 154? Or do you think Jermell is too big? How do you see that one playing out? Pacquiao in his prime against Jermell Charlo. How do you see that one playing out? Prime Pacquiao against Jermell Charlo. I've got Pacquiao. I've got Pacquiao in that fight. Mr. Pigeon says, top 10 of all time at 9th, and I mean all time, 1900 2021. Number 1. A lot of people saying Pacquiao. Isn't there talk of Crawford Josecito Lopez? It'd be a little disappointed if it was announced. Surely it's got to be Crawford v. Porter. Richard, that's not acceptable. Crawford v. Josecito Lopez, that's not acceptable. You know, we're talking about another guy that's probably past his prime, more fresher than Khan and Brook, but that's an even step back from Khan and Brook, Josecito Lopez. That's not acceptable, Richard. Lopez fight. Nah, that's not acceptable. It has to be Porter or Thurman. Surely we can't be doing with any of those more. We can't be doing with those fights. We need a proper fight now. We need a proper fight. You know, we need a top tier. We need a top tier opponent. And unfortunately, Josecito Lopez, nah. That just wouldn't cut it. Best 147 of our generation. I think you meant to say our generation. Dean says, best 147 of our generation, 100%. Of our generation, yeah. Would you say Pacquiao's a better 147 pounder than Sugar Ray Leonard? What do you guys think? Pacquiao, is he a better 100? So Pacquiao's obviously an 8 division world champion. Who do you think is a better welterweight? Sugar Ray Leonard or Manny Pacquiao? Adam N said, Bud is not going to fight a top PBC fighters ever. Well, it seems like he's going to be leaving Top Rank. He's going to be leaving Top Rank, and there's no excuse then for him to not get the big fights. Hopefully he signs with PBC, and then we can get all of the big fights. We can get all of the big fights against all of the top guys, and they'll be easy to make. There'll be no excuses about this side of the street, that side of the street. They'll all be on the same side of the street. So yeah, hopefully we can get all of those big fights soon. Mr. Pigeon says he beat Spence. He will be the best boxer of the 4-belt era since 1980s at 1, but 9th all time. So what's your top 10 then? Crawford. Ahmed says Crawford is the closest version to Roy Jones in this era. People will realize when he beat Spence. I think he's a different fighter to Roy Jones. Roy Jones was something unique, man. I don't think you can compare anybody to Roy Jones. JD says Pacquiao beats Spence, then he's definitely the GOAT ahead of Robinson and Ali and everybody else. Pac is the Mount Rushmore along with Robinson, Ali, Leonard right now. Fair enough. Fair enough. Pacquiao's up there. He is up there without question. Pacquiao's up there with those names without question. No doubt about it already. Sometimes seems fishy. It looks like the PBC already pre-robbing Manny. I think they plan to give Spence no matter what. Hopefully not. I don't think so. They gave it to Pacquiao against them, and that was a close fight. They gave Pacquiao that decision. So I don't think there's going to be any dodgy business. Crawford would beat Spence. Crawford is my number one at welterweight. Wow. Richard, what do you guys think about that? Is Crawford the number one welterweight right now? How do you guys rate Crawford? How do you guys rate Crawford? I know there's a lot of people that don't rate Crawford. There's some people that rate him very highly. Is Crawford the number one welterweight right now? I hope all the legends that fought will be in attendance, front row to support Pac. That would be nice to see. Some of the legends might be supporting Errol Spence. You know, who knows? Bud's biggest test is getting out of his top-ranked contract. Yeah. It's going to be difficult. He's just not getting the big fights, is he, Terence Crawford? He's not getting those big fights. People are not giving him the respect he deserves. Hopefully, he can get those big fights soon. Sooner rather than later. But Josecito Lopez wouldn't cut it. That would not cut it. No way that fight would cut it. Mr. Pigeon says, Mayweather had a peanut head, too hard to hit, and he defended his body. The peanut head. When was the last time someone except Mayweather controlled Pacquiao with the jab? Oscar De La Hoya and Margarita, both taller than Spence. Same reach as Spence. You know what? Oscar De La Hoya was quite fast, but Oscar De La Hoya was at the end of his career. Spence is in his prime. So this is a much better win. This is better than Margarito and De La Hoya without question. Canelo beats Caleb Plant when he goes above Mayweather for me and most fans. Canelo beats Caleb Plant and goes above. Don't know about that. I disagree with that. I think Pacquiao, for me, you can argue, but not Canelo. I think Canelo would have to beat like Beterbiev and like he'd have to do a lot more, I think. Lol, Canelo robbed GGG, failed the PD test and got a special belt made for him specially to avoid mandatory. Yeah, there's a lot of people not happy with your comment, Adam. Was it Adam? Mayweather stopped being a fighter when his hands were shot. Yeah. Stephen K makes a very good point. When his hands messed up, I think Mayweather just went defensive. But you know what? That takes a lot of ability, though. That takes a lot of ability, you know, not to get hit and win fights on points. It's not easy to do. It's not easy to do. It takes a lot of skill. Otherwise, every fighter would be taking that kind of approach, won't they? GG, the taxi driver fighter who always went to Kazakh to avoid VADA. They all on some PEDs, not just Canelo. You know, I'm not going to get into this PED talk. At the end of the day, Spence will eat his words just like Thurman and the rest. You may be right. You know, Spence is talking. He's saying he's going to retire and knock out Pacquiao. You heard his talk on Barbershop Conversations. He's saying he's going to knock Pacquiao out. He said he's better than he's ever been. He said he's going to be a lot better, Spence, than we saw against Danny Garcia. He's looking for the knockout against Manny. We'll find out. Dean Murphy, Mayweather is a beautiful fighter. I like what you said about how he stuns people. In 20 years, Mayweather will be missed and loved the same way Ali was. I don't know whether he'll ever be loved like Ali. I think Ali was... I don't think Mayweather will ever be loved like Ali. I think Mayweather's underappreciated. I think Mayweather is... He's a very, like I said, just ability-wise, was probably one of the greatest ever. He's not appreciated, unfortunately, Mayweather. Yeah, he's very underappreciated because of his fighting style. His also character. He was very cocky. And people don't like cocky people. And also, you know what? Most cocky people fail somewhere down the line, down the line, and they get exposed somewhere. Mayweather never got beat, so people weren't able to take it out on him. People weren't able to criticize Mayweather. You know, like Nazim Hamed was very cocky, but he got beat up by Barrera, so people were able to take it out on Nazim Hamed. Whereas with Mayweather, they weren't able to do that because Mayweather never lost. Depends on how the fight goes to rank it at all time. I don't care who's on what. I only accuse the ones who actually failed. True. That's why I don't like when people accuse Pacquiao, because he's never failed, and people love to, you know, talk rubbish about Pacquiao. But yeah, he never ever failed a test. So Mr. Pigeon says, shush, failed casual argument. Okay. I got Pacquiao ahead of Mayweather in the top 10 if he beats Spence. The greatest fighters have losses. 50-0 don't mean jack when you don't take greatest risk. Fair enough. I ain't shushing for no one. I would rank it as one of the greatest accomplishments by a fighter. I'd agree with you, Stephen, there. Nah, you just talk complete garbage about PEDs when most of them are on there. Okay, they're going back and forth. I like this comment. The moment Manny signed the contract, he's already my number one greatest fighter of all time. Yeah. If he beats Crawford and Spence, he's the GOAT without doubt. Yeah, I don't think that would be a question. Buhe says, you're talking to 8th division champ. Don't compare Patman to Garcia and Porter. Ooh, yeah, you can't compare them to Garcia and Porter. Spence couldn't put away Mikey yet. Apparently destroys Pac. Yeah, lol. True. He couldn't. I think Mikey went into his shell, though. I think Mikey went more defensive. Pacquiao's going to leave himself open a lot more. Manny ain't coming to survive. I'm not sure about a Spence win on its own, though. I'm not sure about the Spence win on its own, though. What do you mean by that, Jet? Pac at 9 are all time. One thing in him not being higher was never undisputed, sadly. Beats Spence, fights Crawford, he's undisputed. Pacquiao wins against Jamel. Yes, he can beat him. 154 Pac, fought Margarito, stops Jamel at 154. Fair enough. I'm not familiar enough with Charlo's style to make a call either way, but never had problems with bigger fighters in his prime. Yeah, I'd agree with you there, Stephen. Charlo's very explosive and very powerful, so that would make for a good fight, even in Pacquiao's prime. But I would favor Manny, though, on points. Stop, I don't know. Yeah, it could do. But Pacquiao used to beat guys up that were bigger than him. He wasn't really a concussive knockout artist at the higher weight classes. Crawford taking ESPN plus type fights since he moved up to 147. Yeah, he needs to get those big matchups, man. He needs to get those big fights. Spence has never seen anyone like Pacquiao, and Pacquiao has seen it all. Yeah, he has. I agree with you. He has seen it all. He has definitely seen it all. When you've been an 8 division world champion and you've been fighting as long as Pacquiao has, you're going to have seen it all. Manny v. Leonard is a 50-50 fight, as Leonard was 15-round era, and he was a 15-round fighter. Based on ability, he is, Jet says. Crawford is not the number one. He's just carbon dioxide in boxing. What do you mean by that? Terence Crawford hasn't fought any top shelf fighters at 47. Yeah, I'd have to agree. Pacquiao beat Sugar Ray. Wow, I'm not sure about that. There's a few training videos of Pacquiao training for Spence, and he's looking good at 42 and looks motivated. Have you seen them? I have seen a few. He's looking good. But again, looking good and in the ring are two different things. I hope Pacquiao can look as good in the ring. If he does, then, you know, Manny could pull off this miracle of a win, which a lot of people would say it is. Crawford will fight Brandon Rios next. That should put him in the facts. GOAT. Come on. Brandon Rios. That's even worse than Josecito. Brandon Rios was done ages, like 4 or 5 years ago. Golovkin won the first fight 9-3. Yeah, Golovkin, I thought, won that first fight. He got hard done by there, Golovkin. Spence can't knock out Danny Garcia or Mikey. Little tiny Mikey, yeah. He couldn't do, but who knows? Who knows? You know, I don't think Pacquiao's going to look to survive like Mikey. Pacquiao's going to let his hands go, and that could lead to more opportunities. Floyd lost to Maidana big time. He had to hold over 80 times. The problem with fans of Floyd is they're dishonest. Guys, do you think Floyd lost to Maidana? What do you guys think? Do you think Floyd lost to Maidana? What do you guys think? Floyd lost to Maidana? I don't know about that one. That was a close fight, you know. That was a lot closer than what people say. The Maidana really put it on him, man. Maidana was one of my favorite fighters. You know, after I saw Maidana v. Khan, that was an all-time great fight. Maidana v. Khan. That was one of my favorite fights. Maidana v. Khan. Do you remember that fight, guys? Maidana v. Khan. After that, I became a Maidana fan. And then what he did to Adrian Broner. Oh, my goodness. He obliterated Adrian Broner. He absolutely obliterated Adrian Broner. Guys, everyone in the live stream, smash the like button, guys. Let's get those likes up. Smash the like button. Everybody in the live stream, if you can smash the like button, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, Maidana wasn't the most gifted or most technically gifted fighter, but what a fight! What a beast of a man! Like literally, he didn't give a crap. He just came in there and walked you down and just hit you with all types of punches. Maidana was an animal. Maidana, you know, I'm so upset that Maidana retired early because I would have loved to see Maidana fight guys like Crawford. How does Maidana fight with Crawford? How do you think a fight with Maidana in his prime against Crawford? How do you see that one going? That would be a horrible fight for Crawford. Horrible fight. Maidana was a problem. My all-time top 10, Mr. Pigeon says, Ray Robinson, Henry Armstrong, Sam Langford, Willie Pep, Harry Greb, Muhammad Ali, Jack Dempsey, and Manny if he beats Spence. Got him at 8th if he wins. Wow. Fair enough. You put some really good all-time. You put Ray Robinson number 1, Henry Armstrong. You put some all-timers in there, man. First fight, 7-5 GG win, and second fight, 7-5 Canelo. Yeah, they were both close. Floyd failed a test. IVs are not allowed, Vivada. Same as Lance Armstrong. They're legal for a reason. Billy Joe was cocky. He sure was cocky. Canelo didn't like that, did he? He didn't like that. That's what Pac wants. He wants to fight Spence, and he wins the other belt whenever it is, whether it's TC or with someone else. I think if Pacquiao beats Spence, he's going to fight Terence Crawford. I do. I think if Pacquiao beats Spence, you're going to get him fight Terence Crawford. Where I rank Pac all time if he beats Spence. Yeah, where do you rank Pac if he beats Spence all time? Mayweather never lost because he was TBE of cherry picking. Wow. Not many people that like Mayweather. If Pat beats Spence, he should go down to 135 and give Devin Haney. Why Devin Haney? Pacquiao can't make 135 anymore. He's too big. Why kill himself to fight Devin Haney? What's he going to gain from beating Devin Haney? He beats Spence and Crawford. Pat goes down as one of all time, and by a long way too. Don't see it though, but it's definitely possible. If Pacquiao beats Spence and Crawford, do I think he's the number 1? Yeah, I do. I wonder how many I wonder how many rounds Pac could fight in his prime. Yeah, Pacquiao could. Well, 15. He's definitely. I think he's a 15-round fighter. Pac was breaking people's faces in his prime. I remember him looking at the ref like, "Are you going to stop the fight or what?" It was probably making him ill to keep hitting them. Yeah, I remember you're talking about the Margarito fight, aren't you? Margarito was getting battered in that fight, and you know what? The referee should have stopped it. Margarito ended up damaging himself. Manny has the better DNA than Leonard, nearly twice as many fights. Much better career, in my opinion. Manny, what? Sugar Ray Leonard? But has Manny fought better fighters than what Sugar Ray Leonard fought? That's the thing. Sugar Ray Leonard was in the ring with Roberto Duran, Hagler, Hearns, Hector Camacho. Like, yo, he's been in the ring with some all-time greats, man. Some all-time greats. It was razor thin. It was razor thin. Floyd lost to Maidana 7-5. Do you guys think Floyd lost to Maidana? Maidana, me too, beast. Tough and technical, but the holding pissed me off to the end, where we have never seen that in boxing history, that much illegal holding. Maidana showed great ring IQ in the Mayweather 1 fight. Yeah, Maidana kept coming forward, mate. And the thing is with Maidana, you know how you get certain fighters that are big punchers, but they're one-dimensional, like a Lucas Matisse or a David Lemieux. Like, they're big punchers, but they don't really have a way to land their shots when there's a slick boxer. Maidana proved it against good boxers, right? Maidana could walk forward and he'd find a way to land his unorthodox, horrible punches, man. He had really horrible punches, like looping right hands that hit you on the top of the head, on the temple. Oh, man, the guy was an absolute beast. You know what? When I became a fan of Maidana, right, as I said, the Khan fight, Khan put him down hard in the first round. I thought the fight was done. This guy came back and gave Khan the business in that fight. He almost had him knocked out in that 10th round. I was like, wow. I knew that day. I knew this guy's a monster. You do not want to Maidana. From that day, I realized that this guy, if you're a hype job, Maidana's gonna wipe you out. And we fought against Broner. He literally took Broner apart. Haha, Broner, that was awesome. The loudmouth Broner front to what he got blown away. He got blown away, and that was Maidana. I had Floyd v Maidana, 8-4 Maidana. And I watched it yesterday again. A lot of people thought Maidana was, one. If Pac-Man defeats Spence in a forthcoming fight, I considered him the #1 GOAT already. By merely signing that contract, he was already the GOAT. Samuel, a lot of people. Tiger Stripe has entered the building. What's Tiger Stripe saying? Let me see Tiger Stripe's comments. Tiger Stripe says he can never be #1. He lost to Floyd. Tiger Stripe has made himself heard. He says he can never be #1. He lost to Floyd Mayweather. There's a lot of people with that opinion as well. He did lose to Floyd Mayweather. So does that mean he can never be #1? What do you guys think? Maidana now is a cruiserweight. I agree. He's a heavyweight now, unfortunately. It breaks my heart that Maidana didn't go on after the 2 Floyd fights. I would have loved to see him go on. I can imagine him against Crawford would have been a great fight. Only idiots will say Mayweather beat Maidana the first fight. Wow. AB, he got beat badly against Maidana, man. Maidana is a tough fight for Crawford. Agreed, so tough and hard hitting. Jet says Crawford by unanimous decision. That would be a hard fight, man. That would be a hard fight. That would be a hard fight for Crawford. But yeah, I think Crawford definitely has the versatility to beat him on points. But again, that would be a horrible fight. Maidana v Porter, that's a brutal fight. I think I would favor Maidana on that one. I tell you why. I think Maidana's punching power, I think they're both relentless, but I think Maidana's punching power might be a problem for Porter. Stephen K said, yeah, Maidana v Broner was making me laugh. He gave Broner a real dad beating. Yeah, he did. Broner was doing all very disrespectful stuff as well, and he really put a beating on him. Floyd got about 13 gift decisions, a con man, in my opinion. Wow. If Crawford beats Spence and Jamel Charlo, how would you rate him? I'd rate him very highly. If he beats Spence and Charlo, wow. Crawford would be an all-time great. Floyd lost to Maidana and Castillo. Castillo, I think a lot of people thought 100% he lost that. Richard says, Imran, have you seen Maidana v Ortiz? Yeah, I did see that fight. Ortiz knocked Maidana down, and then Maidana got back up and stopped. I think Ortiz was a very good fighter. I just think Ortiz always had, when someone started putting it on him, I think Ortiz kind of fell, he capitulated a little bit. Otherwise, Ortiz was a very gifted fighter and a guy that was very touted to do great things in boxing. Unfortunately, he didn't quite go on to, have the career that most people thought he would. Stephen K said he won't fight TC if he doesn't have a belt. Who Pacquiao won't fight Terence Crawford. I think Pacquiao would fight Terence Crawford. I think Terence Crawford will have a belt. Who's gonna take the belt off him? Where would you rank Manny if he beats Spence and Crawford? Number 1. He can never be number 1. He lost to Floyd. But Tiger, if he was to beat Crawford and Spence, you still don't think he will go ahead number 1? So Mr. Pigeon says Floyd v Ortiz was suspect. That sneaky KO. Yeah, that was unsportsmanlike behavior. No, he wouldn't drop weight. He's interested in undisputed at 147. Yeah, I agree. Tiger Strike. Manny dehydrated a lot of opponents and fought them at catch weights. Laughed my ass off. But when you say that, like, I think you're talking about the De La Hoya fight. De La Hoya was a bigger commodity. He didn't have to fight at that weight. Manny Pacquiao wasn't a bigger star than De La Hoya at that point. So De La Hoya could have fought at 154 if he wanted to. What title did Manny win at 147 and 154? He never even fought at 154. He fought at a catch weight of 150. You got make some good points there, Tiger. Make some good points. Margarito, De La Hoya, and Cotto. Stephen K comes back with Margarito, De La Hoya, and Cotto. They were all bigger men. They were all bigger guys, man. They were all bigger guys, and Manny beat the brakes of all 3 of them. Manny won an IBO title at 140. Is that considered a legitimate title? No, I'm pretty sure Manny Pacquiao won. Legitimate belts at legitimate belt at 140. Manny KO Hatton. I nearly got attacked in a pub, as I knew it would happen. I was laughing, I quickly left. Why? Are you from the UK? So Ernst Khan called out Floyd repeatedly and never wanted to fight him, among others. Khan, Paul Williams, Costa Zoo, and Margarito. I think Floyd could have fought these guys. I think those were guys that he should have fought, really. Yeah, he set punches up well. Are you talking about Crawford here? Pac already a top 3 of all time. Number one fighter of the decade, 3-time fighter of the year, 8 division world champion. Ali, Tyson, the greatest, have all lost. Pac is top 3, no debate. Fair enough. Mr. Pigeon says, Holding in WBA rules is illegal, but Floyd plays off refs maybe. Manny is top 10. Sugar Ray, Robinson, Ali, Mayweather, etc. all ahead of him. Sugar Ray Robinson. I think Robinson, Ali, Mayweather, you know, I think it's close, man. I think it's a matter of opinions. I think they could be ahead of him, yeah. They could be ahead of him. Everyone has their own opinion, really. Haha. Have you seen Maidana v Ortiz? Yes. Very good scrap. Very good fight. Both got dropped, but Maidana just had, I think Maidana's determination, heart, I think was too much for Ortiz. His punching power, his relentlessness. I don't think that kind of, you know, Ortiz couldn't, for me, keep up with that kind of relentless pressure. Maidana had too much heart. Do you consider Manny an 8-division world champion when at 140 he won the IBO and 154? At 154 he never defended the title. Yeah, but winning a title, you know, Canelo is a 4-division world champion. He never defended the title at light heavy, but he won the world. I think he won the title. So, you know, that's what it is, you know. If you want to vacate, you win a world title against a legitimate world champion at the weight, you know, you can't criticize that. See Logan on the heavy bag. He is terrible, man. Yeah, he's quite big. He's like a bodybuilder, isn't it, Logan Paul? He's quite slow. How's he going to hit Floyd, man? I don't know. You can't be too flat-footed when facing Manny Pacquiao. You'll be an easy target. Good luck to flat-footed Errol Spence. He may KO Pac, but I'm pretty sure Pac's speed would cause him a lot of trouble. Yeah. Yeah, he is. Spence is a little flat-footed, to be honest. So Mr. Pigeon says, Tiger Stripes makes 100% good points. Floyd looked like he was on some kind of juice. He looked bulky. Would you agree, or am I wrong? I don't know. Juice, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really like to get into that sort of discussion. Sour loser or bitter? Haha. Richard Brown. De La Hoya opponent for next month's fight been announced yet? No. De La Hoya thought Manny was easy work and 100% got exposed. A career ended. Manny won the IBO title at 140. From what I remember, that's the only title he won at 140. I mean, who did he fight? Didn't he fight Hatton at one? Let me check this out. One sec. Let me check this out. I'm pretty sure Manny Pacquiao won. Super light. No, it's not diamond. You might be right, you know. He fought Ricky Hatton for a super light super light title. So yeah, I think he might IBO, yeah, against Ricky Hatton. And there was super feather world light title against David Diaz. So he fought the WBC world light title. Ricky Hatton, he fought for the IBO, yeah. So he didn't really win. So how many times did he fight at super lightweight? He only fought once at super lightweight, man. Yeah, Ricky Hatton, that's it. Then he fought Miguel Cotto for the WBC welterweight title and the vacant WBC diamond welter title. So yeah, he beat Miguel Cotto. Then he fought Joshua Clottey for the so then most of his career has been at welterweight. Yeah, he only fought. Yeah, you're right. Tiger Stripe's right. Tiger Stripe is 100% right. That Manny Pacquiao only won the IBO welterweight, you know, IBO title at light welterweight. So you are 100% bang on there. Yeah, but that's not a reason why you can't put Manny in the top 10 GOAT list because he just won the IBO, man. Even then, you know, he beat Ricky Hatton, who was a top fighter or a good fighter at that point, and he battered him. Logan sucks. So at 140, Manny had no defenses, and IBO, that was the Hatton KO fight. Yeah, I agree. I agree there. I agree with you 100%. Or should I say top 5? Who do you think has the greater career between Manny and bro? Manny 140 his career, not like Josh Taylor. Josh is undisputed, all belts. Manny 140 don't come. Yeah, but he didn't really fight at 140, man. He didn't really fight. If he wanted to, he could have gone and beat the crap out of the guys at 140 pounds. Do you not? But think about it. If Manny Pacquiao went to 140 pounds, he would have destroyed a lot of those guys, man. Think about it. Look what he did at welterweight, let alone 140 pounds. He would have destroyed those guys. Put it this way, Tiger. Khan was a unified champion at 140 pounds. Khan held the WBA and IBF light welterweight titles. So are you telling me if and as you know, I'm the biggest Khan fan out there. If Manny Pacquiao went to 140 pounds in his prime and fought Khan, don't you think he would have beat Khan? So he could have become a unified champion. You do know when Pacquiao was at welterweight, Khan was a beast at 140 pounds. He beat Maidana. I agree with you, brass tracks boxing. I definitely agree with you, but Manny Pacquiao was a beast as well. At that point, Manny was in his prime when Khan was a beast. Manny was also in his prime. So this is what I'm trying to say, that the guys that 140 pounds, let's not forget, the two unified champions when Pacquiao was in his prime were Amir Khan and Timothy Bradley. And we all saw what Manny Pacquiao did to Timothy Bradley, right? And as a massive Khan fan, I would say that Pacquiao would beat Khan. So this narrative about Pacquiao not, winning the title at 140, I think we all know that he would have done. So, again, I just can't. What's good, brass stripes boxing? I hope you're well. All good here. Manny also never unified. You're right. He didn't unify. Exactly. So that's my point. Yeah, they did fight many times at the wild card. They were great sparring, apparently. Great sparring between the two. They would have been unbelievable sparring because they were both fast as hell. And I do agree with you as well, Prole trait, that, yeah, the difference between Khan and Pacquiao were the chins. I think Pacquiao had a great chin, man. You know what I mean? And he had power as well. So Tiger Stripe says, my main point is Manny is not an 8 division champion. He's a 6 division champion. No, but at 154, he won a belt. He won a legitimate title. So I've got his box rec up now. Let's have a look at this. So let's see light middleweight. Where's it gone? Who did he fight? 1 second. So there's a Miguel Cotto fight. So Miguel Cotto. So where was the Miguel Cotto fight? What weight was it at? Doesn't say what weight, man. World Boxing. But welter, the Cotto fight was at welter. Who did he fight at? Super welterweight title, Antonio Margarito, the vacant WBC. So he won the WBC belt at super welter against Antonio Margarito. So yeah, you're right. He fought Margarito for the WBC 154-pound title. Mayweather v Duran at 135. I got Mayweather. Who you got, Imran? Mayweather. Mayweather for sure. I think Mayweather would have been too tricky for Duran, just a bit too skilled. It was 145, basically welterweight. What? Super welter. Yeah, I agree with you. So Mr. Pigeon says in 2009, the 140 champs were Juan Urango, Amir Khan, and Bradley. Manny beats all of them, yeah. Pacquiao won the IBO in the Ring magazine when he fought Ricky Hatton. Yeah, he destroyed Ricky Hatton, to be honest with you. That was a bad fight for Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton got blown away in that fight. Floyd ducked Manny until Manny became Floyd ducked Manny until he became Money May. Yeah. I think a lot of people thought that he should have fought, Pacquiao earlier on, but Floyd fought him years later, but beat him. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna leave it here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back. Let's do some live commentary for Mayweather Logan Paul. I'll be back then to give my take on it, and then I'll probably do a video as well. But yeah, I'll come back later. I'm going to do another live stream later. Nobody wanted Pac after watching him destroy Cotto. Nobody expected that. I was a fan of both. Excited on one hand, sad Cotto lost. I was bipolar that day. Yeah. I think Cotto was a great fighter. Great fighter. Manny plus in the casino. It's a big underdog, man. Manny against Spence, but let's see if he can pull it off, guys. I appreciate the live stream. I'll see you guys later. I'll do a live watch along or live commentary for the Spence. For the Mayweather Logan Paul fight. I'll see you guys later. Take care anyway. Take care, and I will see you all later on. I will be coming on later on, round probably 3:45-ish. Hopefully. Take care, everyone. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.